An Evening Wet with Rain, written by Ved Paul Deep. In last video, we discussed the steps of this poem, like introduction to the poet and the poem, brief summary of the poem, and stanza-wise explanation of first three stanzas. Dear students, in this video, we are going to discuss the following steps. Number first, explanation of remaining four stanzas. Number second, assessment. And number third, techniques used in the poem. So let's begin. Loss of hope has darkened the evening of my life too, and clouds gathering in the mind shed tears as they pass. The evening of troubles, my companion is also depressed, and takes me along, holding my hand by the arm. In these lines, the poet presents very gloomy image of his life in its old stage. The poet says that he is now in last stage of his life, and hence no hope has been left for him, and this hopelessness has darkened the evening of his life. His old age is filled with darkness. His mind is full of worries and sadness. Clouds of depression makes him weep and shed tears. His lone companion, perhaps his wife, is also facing the same situation and is also depressed. She is holding his hand and taking him along. In childhood, I stood alone in my courtyard, and waves of air brought the sounds of cymbals. We regret that the days gone by don't return. How to call back times past and gone? In these lines, the poet recalls the days of his childhood, the golden days, full of hope and aspirations. He remembers how he used to stand alone in his courtyard to enjoy the music of cymbals rung somewhere. The poet feels heartbroken to think that days gone by don't return. He finds no ways and means to call back the times that are past and gone. The evening prepares to go to sleep in the lap of night, slowly, softly, just as the sky's feet touch the ground. Shadows of trees rest in the dark tank, and some passing clouds cast as a shadow over hills. These lines present a saddest but real image of life when it prepares to meet the death. The poet, in a very poetic style, says that the evening is preparing to go to sleep in the lap of night, means life is now preparing to meet the death, so smoothly, slowly and softly, as the sky seems to meet the ground at horizon. The shadows of trees growing along the side of the tank have stopped moving, as if they have gone to take rest in the dark tank. As passing cloud has cast its shadow over the hills and thereby vanishing all other shadows. There is activity in the houses lit with electric bulbs. Moonlight loafers holding the hem of the moon. Where is my destination? Where is the hurry? Light of the earthen lamp in a wayside modest inn awaits me. These lines provide a contrast or comparison between the poet's inner state of mind and the outside world. He sees some houses lit with electric bulbs, indicating some activity must be going on in them and are full of life. The moonlight seems to be holding on to the rim of the moon and laughing. There is no joy or light in the poet's own life. He doesn't think of his own home and has no hurry to reach there. It is only a simple wayside inn where an earthen lamp is burning. It seems to be waiting for the poet, but the poet feels no enthusiasm or hurry to reach there. Dear students, we have completed explanation of all the stanzas. Now moving to next step, that is assessment. So question number first is, what are the memories that the poet talks about in the poem? So answer, as suggested by one of my friends, namely Nadeem Bashir, the answer of this question is, The poet Vedpal Deep has made a valiant effort to share the nice and pleasant memories of his childhood days with his reader. He recalls the gone by days of fearlessness, utter pleasance, and youth in a beautiful poetic conversation. In midst of a cool breeze, he would stand alone in the courtyard where the waves of air would bring the sweet sound of cymbals to his ears, rejuvenating his heart and soul. Question number 2 is, what kind of atmosphere is created in the poem? And the answer is, in order to reflect the poet's hopelessness and his endless miseries, the poem creates a sad and serious atmosphere. The wet evening is a symbolic representation of the last stage of the poet's life. He has grown old, weak, and hopeless. The lamp of his life is fluttering in the wind and can get extinguished anytime. And the next question, what makes the poet tired? And the answer is, with the advancing age, the poet has grown hopeless, and this hopelessness is adding to his fatigue. He has no hope and hence no desires, and thus feels very tired. Question number 4. What has darkened the evening of poet's life? And the answer is, for any human being, hope serves as a ray of light, which decides his direction. Since poet has lost hope, his life is darkened and he has nothing to cheer about in his life. The loss of hope has badly affected the poet's entire life and has turned it into a dark monster. Last question, that is, discuss the poet's regret in the poem. The poet regrets the loss of his childhood days when life was all joy for him. On the contrary, the poet's present life is all despair. There is no joy or hope left for him, and he regrets that he can neither go back in time nor can he bring back the times that are past and gone. Now we will discuss the techniques used in this poem. In this poem, two techniques that have been mainly used are imagery and personification. First, it is imagery. The poet has used pictorial imagery in the poem. He creates a clear picture of an evening wet with rain. We can see clearly in our mind's eye wet doors, windows, and awnings. We can see leaves stirring with the cool breeze. We can see rainwater seeping through the poet's shoes and also wet collar of his coat. Each description given by the poet springs alive before our imagination. We can visualize clearly the child poet, standing alone in his courtyard and listening to the sweet sound of cymbals. The richness of the poet's imagery can be measured in the following lines. Loss of hope has darkened the evening of my life too, and clouds gathering in the mind shed tears as they pass. The next technique that has been used is personification. What is personification? Basically, the poetic technique in which human characteristics are attributed to an inanimate object. This type of figurative speech is used as a literary device in order to make a piece of writing more vivid and descriptive and assist the reader in better understanding of the text. In this poem, the poet has personified both the moonlight and the moon. He says that the moonlight is laughing and holding the hem of the moon. It is like a lover holding the hand of his beloved. It is a beautiful sight which the poet doesn't want to lose sight of. Similarly, the poet is lost in the happy thoughts of his childhood, and he loves to remain lost in them. He feels no hurry to come out of them. So, the students, this was all about this poem. Hope you enjoyed it, and please don't forget to subscribe this channel for more educational videos. Thanks a lot for watching.